to configure workspace, edit my current workspace. Right now I only have FXCM. They provide Forex data, and I'd like to add a second connection to allow data for stocks and equities. In this case, I'm going to be using Google because it's free. And do bear in mind, it's just going to reconnect here. Do bear in mind that Google, you do get what you pay for. I mean, it is a good feed, but they haven't maintained their API in quite a bit. So now we have, if I take a look here, I should be able, here's my Google. And if I want to pull up stock on Google, it's working. Now the MotiveWave console. The console provides access to all the features in MotiveWave and is initially configured with a default layout. It also allows access to MotiveWave menu bar, toolbar, panels, and pages. So let's take a look at that. Okay, the first thing I want to draw to your attention is the file backup facility in MotiveWave. It is, like all things digital, it's good practice to back up for a couple of reasons. You never know when there's a hardware failure, such as a hard disk failure. There could be a software crash. Now, these two particular things may put you in a situation where you would have to create a new workspace in order to recover your MotiveWave. But by doing so, you will end up having to recreate all your lists, your charts. It can take quite a bit of time. By backing up, you can always, in the case that something does happen, you can always go back to File, Restore, and use the backup file to bring back your MotiveWave into the workspace that you had before the incident happened. It also serves as a good way to bring files over from a desktop to laptop, for example. You have MotiveWave installed on a few computers. So what you can do is you can back up your desktop workspace and then restore it on your laptop when you're out traveling or working. So I just want to bring that up because it would save you a lot of heartache in the event that those things do happen. Now back to the MotiveWave console. This is the MotiveWave console, and as mentioned in the slide, it provides access to all the features in MotiveWave through menus. This is the menu bar. You'll also have a toolbar here, which you can customize. It gives you access tools. Here's where you would pull up your symbols, your instruments, to pull up charts. You have your component panel. Now, depending on what edition of MotiveWave you have, the component panel might differ from what you see here. Again, this is the ultimate version, so this is everything that MotiveWave has to offer as far as components. They are categorized. They have a general, and you have basic, commentary, markers, and so forth. Fibonacci, Gann, Elliott Wave, and Gartley. Okay, here you have the charting area, and if we go to an FX, because I'm pulling up, I have Apple here on Google, and there's no trading account with Google. So if I pull up an FX pair currency, you'll see a trade panel here. So this is a trade panel where I can initiate trades as well as entry and exit strategies. Now below the chart area, you also have a separate graphing area. Now what we're seeing here is the bird's eye view, which is related to navigation. But here, for instance, if you want to plot, when you do plot a study, you have the option of either using it as an overlay, in which case it would go onto the chart, or you can have it plotted as a separate graph, and that it would show here if you go ahead and do that. Here you can select your different time frames. Here you have your navigation icons. Again, this is bird's eye view template, and this is if you want to change to a semi-log scale, the chart. Here you have your watch lists, your buy-sell boxes, your pages, which also with a default layout are set for functionality. For instance, you have charts, scanning, optimizing account information. Now, if your broker supports options, you'll have an options page. And if your broker or data feed supports news through their API, you would also see it here as a separate page. And at the bottom, we have our status bar, which shows your connection status and local time. So that's what we have for the console from an overview point. Working with charts can be worked within the console or independently as a separate chart or charts. And our charting component is feature rich and has advanced charting capabilities. Let me switch over to MotiveWave. As mentioned in the slide, there are many ways to open up charts in MotiveWave, and you can either do them within the console or independently. So let's try within the console first. First way you can do it is you can from the new tab, chart, and that will pull up a separate chart. You can pick your pair, your instrument actually, and you can also from your watch list. If your watch list is linked, it'll actually switch charts. But if it's unlinked, and just let this chart refresh here, if it's unlinked and you double click, it will actually open up a new chart. Okay, let me show you that again. New chart. Okay, that's how you do it within the console. Now to do it independently, you can do it through the File menu by selecting File, New, Chart window, and it'll bring up a new chart window. And again, it's independent of the console. Or you can do it from the new chart icon, Open Chart window. That's another way of doing an independent chart. I'll just close that up. Now, chart settings can be configured two ways. You can either do it globally or on a per chart basis. If you do it globally, you would go to Configure, Preferences, you can go to Chart, and here you have all the available options for configuring charts. We're not going to get into it now because there's quite a bit here. You can, on your own time, if you want to, you can always feel free to open up a test workspace and just play with some of the settings to get a feel for it. Now, if you want to apply certain settings only to the particular chart that you're looking at, you can always right-click on the chart and select Chart Settings. And from here, you can select any of the options, and this will apply only to this particular chart. Now, from the menu bar, you can also change, for instance, chart type. You can also change time frame. You're here. You can also change the time frame here as well. And if you don't see a particular time frame here, you can always create your own. That information is in the user guide. We can go through it in a future webinar. But you can add your own custom time frames as well. The navigation here when working with charts, navigation icons here give you a quick and easy way to navigate the charts. If you want to go to the present time, which it already is, you click on that one. If you want to go to a particular date, if you want to go back in time, particular date, this is a time span. You can actually pick, for instance, a week, or you can bring up the bird's eye view. For instance, if you go on a daily and you want to go on from a visual point, very easy to navigate. So that's charts. So let's move on. Working with studies and templates. Templates contain one or more studies with specific settings, and templates can be applied to other charts and may also be applied as a default template when creating a new chart. Go back to our MotiveWave. So we're going to add, let's try adding 2 new studies to the chart. We can go to Study. Now, if you